Okay, good morning, everybody. It's good to see everybody here this morning on this beautiful day. Just continue to pray. Just a reminder, continue to pray for the church, our county, our state, the nation, as we get all these different things going on. We've got the election coming up in 80 some odd days, and all the people predicting that the sky's going to fall whenever that takes place, and I don't know what all is going to go on, but just pray that everything goes smoothly and we have a successful campaign, and it is a fully decided event and everything continues on like it's supposed to. Well, I don't want to get into any of that, but just pray that it's a clear-cut winner of whoever it's going to be. There's no questions. Today, we're looking at James chapter 1, verses 14 through 16. James chapter 1, verse 14 through 16. These verses can be applied in several different situations. And they're applicable today. Reading from the Bible, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Okay, this is following on verse 13, where we're told not to say, God is tempting me, because God won't tempt you with evil. And he can't be tempted. He was, as we know from the Gospels, the devil tried to do it, and he utterly failed. And we, if we remain strong in Christ, we will not fail. We will not be tempted. We will be tempted, but it's from the devil. But remain strong in Christ. And the lust, we get to lusting after something. Whether it's fame, fortune, love, whatever. If we go start chasing that, we'll wind up in sin. And then when it's all done, we're dead. And the last verse, the last part, do not err, my beloved brethren. In other words, don't get sidetracked. Don't follow your lust. Don't stray from the straight and narrow. Stay on the path. Stay with the Bible. Stay with God. And you will have God, and you will have Him. Now, have you ever noticed recently on television, have you noticed how things have kind of changed? Especially since pro sports, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NFL, hockey, how since they're trying to make a comeback and get a season of somewhat going, have you noticed something else that's been coming on? Now, I'm not talking about the social messaging they're trying to push. That's a whole different sermon. It's not for today. This is about another industry that is associated with the basketball games, football games, baseball games, all over the world. But yet, those teams don't really benefit any from it. Talking about gambling. The gambling industry, in my opinion, is from the devil himself. It has greed. There's lust in it. People go so far as to lie when they're trapped in it. People cheat to win. There's deceitfulness in it. And it's got envy. Because you become envious of somebody else's winning. And sometimes it has even been tinged with murder. And everything that I just talked about is covered in verses 14 through 16. And we even have gambling here in Webster County and other counties in this state. The gambling I'm talking about, besides the lottery and the lotto and the scratch-off tickets, is bingo. Last night as I was preparing this sermon, I looked online at the General Enterprises website, and with their search engine, I typed in VFW because it's the VFW that operates their charitable gaming, so-called charitable gaming bingo games. The only stories that I found were from 2018, and that was when the VFW was rated before they got the license to have charitable gaming and before they were allowed to sell alcohol. When they were rated. Since then, they've gotten the gaming license from the state to allow them to hold bingo games for charitable contributions. And yes, they've gotten their particular alcohol license they need to sell alcohol. However, I did not find any story, even just a blurb, showing where the VFW had donated money to a charity. Now, they've supported things like today I saw where they gave a couple of flags to the city of Providence to fly at the police department and the city building. But nothing supporting charities. Getting back to the gambling that I've been talking about advertised on TV. If you pay attention, they say, come on, sign up with us. We'll guarantee you $500. You will win you can get $500 back. Even if you lose, you're still going to get $500 through those apps on your cell phone. on your first bet, or certain number of deposits, or how it all works out. Now, the biggest question is, why would they guarantee you $500 even if you lose? It's because gambling is an addictive industry. It's an addiction, pure and simple. And they want to get you used to playing and forget about the money that you're losing, because they're giving you money back to start with, making it look like it's easy money. And you'll forget about the money that you actually lose. And you keep on playing, placing bets, placing more bets. Now eventually you are going to win, but you're going to lose more than you win. And what if you're one of these people that does not really have the means to actually gamble? You know, you take money out of your food budget. You take money away from your household items such as school clothes or books or whatever, and you lose it. But yet your kids still need to go to school. Your family still needs to eat. They still need a place to live. You're going to lose out big time. Now, those aren't the main reasons for what I'm talking about today, because there's a state issue that is coming up before the Supreme Court on Friday. It's going to be oral arguments in a case that's over 10 years old. It actually involves former Governor Steve Beshear, who is the father of our current governor, Andy Beshear. And this is stuff that took place in his administration that is being argued. It's dealing with the historical horse racing machines, video machines. Answering two main questions, probably trying to answer some more, but two main questions. One, is it a slot machine? Because in Kentucky, written into the Constitution of Kentucky, it says pari-mutuel betting is allowed. Pari-mutuel wagering. Okay, and that means, pari-mutuel means it's not just you making the bet, but you're betting along with others. And you're all betting together. That's the first question. Is it a pari-mutuel bet using these machines? Or is it a slot machine, or is it a slot? Like a slot machine out in Vegas, where it's just you and the machine. They show you a video of a horse race. They don't tell you the particular race when it was run. They don't tell you anything about the race. They just say, here's a race. They just put the race up and play a clip of it. And then they stop it at a certain point. Then they say, okay, place your bet. Which horse do you think is going to win? Now, if it's pari-mutuel, you would have to be betting on the same race with the guy next to you playing that historical horse racing machine, wagering on which horse is going to win. But it doesn't. It doesn't appear to be that way. And then once you place your bet, it finishes and shows you which horse wins. And if you bet on the right horse, you win. If you didn't, you lose. These machines appear to be more of a slot machine than a pari-mutuel wager. They've been in operation, possibly illegally, because of the way the Horse Racing Commission brought them about. Governor Beshear, when he was campaigning, he campaigned on saying, hey, let the people decide on that issue, on whether or not to expand gambling. And the state legislature, 3 years in a row, did not pass a bill that would allow it to go to be a constitutional amendment, because that's what it would have to take. But even though the Horse Racing Commission is under the Public Protection Cabinet, Governor Beshear, at that time, Steve Beshear, told them to go to court, to lock it up in court. And at the same time, they started putting the machines at the horse tracks. And so, some of these machines have been operating for over 10 years, or close to 10 years. That's how long this case has been fought. At first, they couldn't do any discovery on it. They were blocked by the Horse Racing Commission. The Horse Racing Commission did several different things, blocking, keeping people from finding out how these machines actually operated. But finally, after 10 years, on Friday, this coming Friday, 14th, at 10 a.m., the state Supreme Court for Kentucky will hear oral arguments for 30 minutes on both sides. Now you can watch that because they will live stream it. They do live stream their cases. They have been because of this virus. And you can just go online, type in your search engine, Kentucky State Supreme Court. And just make sure you find a .gov website for the Kentucky Supreme Court, because that is the one that you need. That will be coming straight from the Supreme Court itself. Okay, and also KET. Now you'll probably have to have an antenna, because it's going to be on one of the other KET channels, not necessarily the main channel, but one of the other KET channels. And I can give you the websites and links to all that if you'll get in touch with me on Facebook or through email. I'll send it all to you. And gambling is something that's been around for years. George Washington, when he was alive, is credited with saying this: gambling is the child of avarice, the brother of iniquity, and the father of mischief. In other words, you're going to start creating all sorts of mischief, lying, and you start out as a child thinking as a child, but as you grow older and as you get deeper into it, you're going to start increasing the types of sin you run into, whether it's from alcohol, drugs, prostitution, whatever. And on an article online from BibleReasons.com, this particular quote is not attributed to anybody, but it's in an article titled Gambling by Fritz Cherry, and it's online. And it's true. Gambling can be just as addictive as drugs and alcohol. Teens and their parents need to know that they're not just gambling with money. They're gambling with their lives. Because if you get started gambling, you will lose track of how much you've lost. And you'll get sidetracked into other things. So, today hasn't really been an evangelistic sermon, but stay with God. Do not get tempted by gambling. Do not play lotteries. Do not play bingo. Do not play slot machines. Do not place bets at horse tracks. Do not place bets at any other type of facilities, whether it's on basketball games or some type of other pro sports. Avoid that at all costs, and your life will come out much better for it. But trust in God, and He will keep you safe. And so as we come to a close, like I said, this hasn't been a very evangelistic sermon. But trust God. Let today be the day you trust God. And if you want to make a profession of faith, have something you need to discuss, I'll be down in front. Cameras will be off, and so nobody outside this church building will see it. But you just want to pray about something, you want to discuss something,
Number 162.
I'll be down here in front, waiting to receive you.